7 days is an ever-evolving game, from Alpha 1 to Alpha 21, from version 1.0 to version 2.0. We've seen the features come and we've seen the features go, but what does the future hold? I of course have no idea, but I can tell you the 10 new features that I hope they bring to the game in the future. If you do enjoy the video, consider hitting that like button and subscribe for plenty more 7 days content. Number 1. More weapon types. I think this is one most of the player base would agree with. More variety is never a bad thing. There's a mod called the Izzy Gun Pack that is incredibly popular amongst players, and I think this serves as proof that the players want more weapon types to play with. And I agree with them, it would be great if they widened the type of firearms on offer. But I would go one further than just guns. I'd love it if we had a large variety of melee weapons too. If we had short blunt, long blunt, short blade, spears, stun batons, all as different options in the game, and each one of those could have different weapon types within them of varying quality. Currently, they have a very linear path of tier 1, 2 and 3. If we use clubs as an example, tier 1 is a wooden club, tier 2 is the baseball bat, and tier 3 is the steel club. They can still have those tiers, but why not have multiple options at each tier? So you could have a basic wooden club and a short blunt as tier 1, but also have some roughly equivalent loot-only items like table legs, tennis rackets, and even an iron pipe, with the next craftable step up being a baseball bat as the tier 2, but then also having things like crowbars being lootable options as alternative tier 2s. And this could apply to any of the tiers. Just imagine the fun of using a sharpened stick as a spear, or a gardening fork that you've looted out in the world to tide you over until you can craft a decent iron spear. I just think it's a total missed opportunity for more variety within the game, and it's also a pretty cool incentive to go out looting. Number 2. More workbenches. I've been playing 7 days for about 8 years at this point, and do you know how many new workbenches have been added during that time? None. Well, there was this one weird table saw thing to make different wood shapes in Alpha 17, but that didn't last very long. So that aside, we still have the same workstations: campfire, forge, workbench, cement mixer, and chem station. Now, I'm not suggesting we need 800 different workstations for every single thing in the game. Mods like Darkness Falls tend to go really heavy on the workbenches. And that's not a knock on Darkness Falls, by the way. I really do love that mod. But maybe something like the weapon tiers, where you could have a basic workbench for more basic items, the next one up for some more advanced items, and a final one for endgame items. You could even make it so you could upgrade the existing workbench into a higher version of it, similar to what Undead Legacy did back in Alpha 20. Again, love that mod as well. I hear that they're adding chicken coops and apiaries, and even possibly a new powered cooking station, which is welcome news. It's always bothered me that we could build these mega structures in the game, with complex wiring and electrical traps, but in the late game we're still cooking via a campfire. So it's great to hear that they're thinking of adding a powered option. Number 3. More zombies. You may be thinking, but 2.0 brought lots of new zombie types. Well, yes and no. Firstly, I don't really see the Frostclaw and Plague Spitter as zombies, and the fact that they're getting reworked probably suggests I'm not alone in that thought. But we also had the new Infernal and Charge zombies. My issue with these is as follows. It's the same base game zombies, just glowing a different colour. If we could just get a few more variants of zombies, it would make the world of difference. Why not bring the farmer zombie back, but he only spawns as a hard-hitting zombie in farm POIs? Or the football player and cheerleader zombies only spawning in and around football fields, or maybe a wandering horde event. Just a few more zombies in the world to add variety would really add to the immersion, and break the feeling of every POI feeling like you're fighting the same few Zeds. Number 4. More traps. Alpha 16 came out in 2017, and with it came the arrival of electrical traps. We got electric fence posts, dart traps, blade traps, and SMG and shotgun auto turrets. Fast forward over 8 years, and several updates into the future, and we have the same few traps. It would have been nice to have a few more by now. Just look at games like Night of the Dead with its variety of wild and wonderful traps that you can use to take on zombies. I think it would be great if we had more options in this area. Perhaps a static version of the sledge turret, but to make it less OP, maybe it fires once every 5 to 10 seconds. Perhaps the frequency in which it fires could be governed by a perk. A fire trap of some description wouldn't be out of place, or maybe some sort of catapult trap that launches the zombies away. Again, these could be balanced with cooldowns, but I can't help but think of the crazy chaos that could be created and new ways to take on the horde. Let me know if you have any cool ideas for new traps in the comments below. Number 5. Late game farming. Farming is something in 7 days that never really changes. Once you max out your living off the land perk, which you can get done pretty early, it's the same results. These decoration pieces and POIs such as Judy Witch always make me think of the potential for late game farming. Being able to plant into something like this, and let's say every station holds 10 crops, You interact with it to harvest, and you have the ability to grow crops inside your base. And maybe an increased yield would be a fun addition to the late game, and farming in general. Plus, it'd be cool to see how people work them into their creative base designs. Number 6. Animals. This is an area I've often thought about with this game. The ability to raise livestock, having to carefully plan where to put them to protect them from zombies, but being able to farm milk, butter, meat and leather from cows, wool from sheep, feathers and eggs from chickens. It's a different playstyle that the game could offer. I believe the devs have gone on record as saying they don't want to do anything like this, as it's not within their vision, but I think it could still be a fun addition and flesh out the gameplay. Plus, in multiplayer, it would give a lot more for the farmer of your group to do, but also more variety in animal types in the wild could be cool. Imagine the prospect of swampy areas having alligators, or even zombie alligators to contend with. Let me know if you have any ideas on this front. Number 7. Boats. This isn't such an issue anymore, with the player having more control over the random world generation than ever. But in previous versions of random world generation, you might get really unlucky with your seed and end up with a big water world with massive bodies of water across it with tiny patches of land. Back then, it definitely would have been really nice to be able to craft a raft or a boat of some description. This still makes the list purely because boats would be a cool addition and something fun to do in the game. And if we did want to make a world with lots of rivers and lakes, it would mean it was more playable. Plus, I'm sure the creative builders out there would build really cool docks as part of their base. Number 8. Fishing. And if we're having boats, why not fishing? It feels like such an obvious step in a survival game. It could even have its own perk associated with it to make the fishing more effective. Worried that this sounds boring? Well, we shouldn't worry about what other people find fun. And anyway, remember those alligators I talked about earlier? They could add some spice to it. Number 9. Sandbox options. A lot has been said about Sandbox recently, and about how the game is supposed to be a sandbox, but it's becoming a narrower and narrower progression path. And I have to say I do agree. A sandbox game should be about having some great game mechanics to play with, and going off and having fun in the way that you want to. A game that in my opinion gets it right is Project Zomboid. The sandbox settings for Zomboid are insane. You can change normal things like the day length, the zombie toughness, the zombie speed, just like 7 days, but Project Zomboid goes the extra mile here. It lets you decide zombie world population, if zombies respawn, if they do, how much they respawn, whether buildings have house alarms, how frequent different types of loot are, so you could have rare food with common melee weapon drops if you wanted. It really lets you tailor it to what you want your playthrough to be. It even goes as far as to let you control how the AI behaves. Can zombies crawl under vehicles? Can they destroy fences? What size groups do they bunch up into? This is a sandbox that lets you play however you want. If 7 days had these sort of options, I think the game would be so much better for it. Being able to turn traders on or off, whether traders are locked into specific biomes, when traders close, if traders are protected, how frequent ammo loot is, being able to turn quests on or off, and if zombies can dig or not. It would just add so much replayability and allow for some pretty cool challenge scenarios. And on the point of Sandbox, does anybody else out there find it strange that this is a voxel-based game with fully destructible blocks, and we have to follow a strict path in a set-out order when doing quests? I didn't mind it so much when we had the choice of breaking down doors or doing it however we wanted, but now if you don't drop through a ceiling at a specific point in a quest and some zombies don't trigger, and you end up stuck in limbo, it just seems sometimes like they're not making the most of the voxel nature of the game. And number 10, more ways to play. The final point here, I just want there to be more than one viable way to play the game. There was lots of hype around Alpha 16 after 2.0 dropped, with people saying it was the best version of the game, and I think I know a good part of the reason why that is. Over time, a lot of choices have been removed from the game. An example is removing Learn by Doing to be replaced with the skill point system. The problem I have with the current system is that it really narrows your build type. If you want to perk into bows and clubs, then that's 2 separate skill trees that you have to perk into. Whereas, if we got rid of the different skill trees, such as strength, perception, and so on, and we just let people play with what they want to play with, and naturally improve bows and clubs over time, for example, and then from there, that can open up perks for additional damage or decap chance or whatever it may be, you have such a broader array of builds that you can do. Spears with shotguns, knives with robotic turrets, sledgehammers with rifles. A big problem I have with the game currently is every single save feels very, very similar. You spawn in the forest every time. Wrecked is always your first trader. You always get the same loot in the same order. You always unlock the workbenches in the same order. There's no randomness to it. It would be a much richer experience in my opinion if you could load in a world for the first time, not know who the first trader was, have a small chance to loot something great, and have an outside chance to find a working workstation out in the world, just to make it all feel a bit different every time. Currently, you know you're going to get stone tools and pipe weapons until you hit a magic loot stage number, and then the next tier of stuff unlocks. That's fine, but at least give us a small chance to get something good, just for those moments of celebration. A day 4 machete, a day 10 auger, whatever it may be. They can be low quality, they can be super rare, but just knowing there's a small chance to break the linear progression would be something that would really make a difference. And I do hope this video hasn't come off too ranty. As I've said before, I do love this game. Just look at how many videos I've done on it. But I, like many of us, just see what potential it has, and I would love it to be able to fulfill that potential. And of course, this is all my own opinion. So let me know your opinion in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with my list? Is there anything you'd like to see added to the game that I didn't cover here? If you did enjoy the video, leave a like down below to let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more. Special thanks to the members of Team 25 who support the channel via channel memberships, it really is appreciated. And if you did enjoy this video, check out this video on screen now, where I talk about 5 features that used to be in the game that I wish would come back. As always, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.